Hello everyone, my name is Eduardo Ruano, and over this past summer I've worked as the Grants and Funding Intern under the leadership of Leslie Fong and Peter Skinner in the Grants Department. A little bit about me is that I'm currently a rising senior at Santa Clara University, where I'm majoring in economics with a concentration in data analysis from the School of Arts and Sciences. My ultimate goal in academia is to achieve a master's in business administration after completing business school. Unfortunately, today I wasn't able to join all of you for this great event due to some unforeseen circumstances, but I'm glad to share with you via this video a little bit about my experience as an intern. As grants and funding intern, one of my primary responsibilities has been to file what is called Prop K allocation requests. Prop K refers to a proposition that came into effect in San Francisco a couple years ago that enacted a half-cent tax that was dedicated exclusively to transportation. The half-cent tax generates about $100 million per year, and that money is then used for projects for primarily Caltrain, Samtrans, and other transportation entities. My job is to talk with project managers, talk with my own supervisors, coming up with any outreach that needs to be reported, key dates, the overall budget for the project in all its phases, as well as coming up with a detailed budget for each fiscal year. So this fiscal year, certain projects needed to report, and the amounts vary anywhere from $60,000 to $2.1 million, and those need to be filed with the San Francisco County Transportation Authority. The key purpose of filing these allocation requests is to ensure that the project managers are receiving the full amount of funds that they are requesting, or else certain projects could get derailed. So it was definitely important for me to ensure full communication, not just with my supervisors, but with my project managers, to ensure that this work was getting completed appropriately. My second key responsibility as the intern for grants and funding has been to file what are called FTA reports. Now, FTA refers to the Federal Transit Administration. These reports are basically quarterly updates that are sent for projects that are under construction, under planning, or any other kind of phase for the development of the project. So it's very important that these are filed because it allows for the FTA, the Federal Transit Administration, to give out funds for these projects and in ensuring that progress is being made for these projects. So the deadline for these reports was the 30th of July, and thankfully we were able to get them on time. So that was another one of my responsibilities, and it was quite important. Likewise with the allocation requests, talking with my supervisors, talking with project managers to ensure that we had the proper information so that we didn't have any future problems with the transit authority. For me, the first point of enjoyment for this internship, I think, would have to be the people who I got to work with, being the interns, obviously. Whether it be getting lunch, grabbing dinner, or recording Getting to the Thing, which was a promotional video for Caltrain, I think I really got to meet these interns and got to know them a bit, knowing about their college experiences, their career aspirations, and just their personalities in general. It was a really good experience to be around a lot of people who are the same age as me, have the same career aspirations or similar, people with great senses of humor, and overall just great personalities and work ethics. I think that was one of the things that I was thinking a lot of when I was entering this internship before I started. This summer I was thinking, oh, what kind of people am I going to be working with? Is it going to be a good match? And after these 6 or so weeks that have passed by this summer, I can say honestly that the interns have made my experience here interning quite worthwhile and quite enjoyable. The second point that I take from this internship that made it quite enjoyable was the sense of satisfaction that I got from doing my work. Obviously, some people might think, oh, reporting is not as interesting, or maybe isn't as important because you're not directly involved with a certain project. But I think that reporting, knowing that you are playing a role in advancing a project that's going to benefit not just one person or two people, but thousands, maybe even millions of people here in the place that you've grown up and lived your entire life, just knowing that you're going to be able to improve the livelihoods of people by means of public transportation is something that, while I didn't think about all the time, was something that was perhaps present in certain moments of my internship, especially when I was getting certain assignments done, meeting with my supervisors, meeting with project managers, knowing that every step that I was doing, every report that I was filing, it had a purpose. And I think that's something that made my internship very enjoyable and very fulfilling, knowing that it's not something that's just benefiting me or a small population, but an ample amount of people here in the Bay. Personally speaking, one point of constructive criticism that I would like to make would be that a lot of the work I was doing, particularly the reporting side of it, perhaps was a bit too repetitive. And I think that in my particular position, where about 90% of my work is in reporting, I think that is something that is going to naturally happen, where a lot of the work is going to be the same because you're reporting to similar entities, agencies at a federal, state, or local level. So a lot of the work will be the same, which can be a blessing, can be a curse. But in my particular stance is kind of a bit of a criticism, just because I felt that maybe there wasn't enough hands-on experience. Maybe it was something that kind of limited my ability to go into the field, which would have been something I would have wanted to do a little more. Just seeing how the projects that we are working on as grants and funding, what those projects are, and kind of seeing them kind of come to life in front of you, and just seeing how that plays out, I think would have been something that I would have wanted to do, just a bit more of the live actions work. But in general, I think that I do understand that my work will be very similar and will tie into a lot of different. Lastly, I would like to thank not just the executives that allow for all of us to be here, but I would like to thank Leslie Fong and Peter Skinner, two wonderful people that made my experience here interning this summer quite remarkable. Two great people with very easygoing personalities, but with very demanding work ethics. It was a great pleasure to work with them, as well as with all the interns. I think repeating myself once more, being with the interns and interacting with them was something that I enjoyed a lot, and made my internship opportunity quite enjoyable. So I would like to thank all of you for seeing my video, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.